our WFBI team now. It's a building steeped in history that served one time as the campus of LSU before the university moved over to the current location.
The Pentagon Barracks are more than 200 years old, and tonight historical preservationists are crying foul over plans to build new apartments at the site. Chief Investigator Chris Nakamoto spoke to preservationists and the Lieutenant Governor, who say that they have been left in the dark on these plans that appear to be moving full steam ahead. Chris.
Well, good evening, Liz and Greg. Those with knowledge of the situation tell me a meeting closed to taxpayers was held today, where architects were interviewed by the State Architects Selection Board to proceed with a project that some are saying is being done under a veil of secrecy. A historical plaque proclaims what happened at the Pentagon Barracks in the past. It's a spot only seasoned historians can recall the history of, but one that is significant for the capital city.
It's a huge asset for Baton Rouge. I think the legislators who live here, even on my own end, when you go through the National Register listing, I had no idea that the likes of Lincoln and Lafayette, Ulysses Grant, notables from American history have all visited this site. Daryl
Gissel is the former chief administrative officer for the city of Baton Rouge. Tonight, Gissel says preservationists are alarmed at what's being planned here.
They're trying to build a 17,000 square foot apartment structure here. We assume that it would look like the buildings that are here, but we really don't know.
The WAFBI team found this architectural services request that's dated March 5th, 2025, which states the project would include a 17,000 square foot new legislative housing building housing state legislators. It specifically reads, the designer will need to plan and coordinate design options for the site and complex with the State Historic Preservation Officer, SHPO, so as not to endanger the status of this historic property. Problem is, Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser is over the SHPO office and says they were never notified about what's being planned for this historic site. When they asked to learn more, they were shut out of the meeting.
Our department called and told that wasn't a public meeting. It was a selection meeting, I believe, or is what I'm told, a selection meeting to select the architectural firm to work on the plans.
Sources provided the I-Team with this agenda that shows the Architecture Board was scheduled to meet today in executive session to interview architects for the Pentagon Barracks project. Executive session is when a public body goes behind closed doors to conduct their business, typically for things like pending litigation. Nungesser says although the barracks are in much need of renovations, there was never talk about adding new apartments at the site.
We've been trying to get money to fix the bricks on the buildings since I got elected. I know there was a study done. I think there's some money in priority 2 for those repairs of the bricks for fear of moisture getting in the walls and having mold and having to gut the buildings. We've been trying to move that repair money quickly to get and fix the bricks to keep those buildings in the contents they're in, and it just hasn't moved like we've hoped.
While getting money to fix the bricks appears to be complex, these separate architectural plans appear to already be funded. The requests for services show the money for the new apartment is available and will cost more than $8 million.
It's being funded, best we know, from a special legislative account that legislators have control of. And we think there's anywhere from $40 to $100 million in that special fund.
Tonight, Gissel says transparency is the best policy, and the lack of straight answers about what's being planned at a historical site in Louisiana has him concerned about a plan that's being green-lighted without any public input from preservationists.
I'm not sure the legislators really even understand what's going on here. I think the process may be that close. We're trying to make certain that our Baton Rouge legislators are aware and hoping that they will help us protect this as an asset for Baton Rouge.
The Pentagon Barracks is listed online under the State House of Representatives. We reached out to Speaker Philip de Villiers, but he did not return our calls. We also could not locate him inside the Capitol. For the WAFBI team, I'm Chris Nakamoto. Greg, Liz?
All right, Chris, many thanks. Appreciate that. Work is underway.